When it comes to police using excessive force, videotape has changed the game. It's no longer the officer's word against the suspects.
But while video can show police crossing the line, it can just as easily clear police of any wrongdoing. Tom Leiden's here with a side of the story we usually don't hear about, Tom.
No, we really don't. You know, Minneapolis police will have about 1 million interactions with the public every year. Most of those are pretty uneventful. But when an officer is accused of excessive force, chances are he'll be put on administrative leave, perhaps an internal affairs inquiry, maybe depositions in a civil suit. It can be a long and expensive process. But there have also been a half dozen recent cases where it didn't get that far. The officers were cleared of all wrongdoing, and video was key.
It's become a story we know all too well. Squad car video shows police going too far, like the case of Daryl Jenkins a few years ago. And before you know it, the city's handing over a six-figure settlement. And no one knows the script better than Minneapolis Police Chief Tim Dolan.
We all see the bad ones, where there's issues with the officer's arrest and how that was handled. Very seldom does the public see the good ones.
This then is one of the good ones, sort of. Dawn O'Leary arguing and struggling with a cop. The officer calls for backup all while she's making racial slurs. At one point, O'Leary refuses to get up. The officer's frustration, obvious. But it was about to get worse. Once in the back of the squad car, O'Leary would accuse the officer of rape and biting her breast. When the ambulance arrived, she told paramedics, "I want a rape kit." And yet the video shows absolutely nothing happened.
It had to be, the call from hell for him. It was just going through all of that, and it's like, then we get an allegation like that.
And it's hardly the only case. Deandra Robertson said police falsely arrested him for driving after revocation when he was just sitting in his parked van. But the squad car video clearly shows his car pulling over just as police were coming down the street. Then there's the case of Andrew Van Schok, who said officers yelled and swore at him, threatening to bury him and put a bullet in his head. Once again, video and witnesses show it was a fabrication.
Well, a lot of them are trying to get out of the charge that they're being arrested for. Sometimes they might even be looking for a financial gain to where, they can make an accusation and get a settlement on a lawsuit.
But instead of a payday, all three were charged with falsely reporting a crime. But that's only a gross misdemeanor. Dawn O'Leary admitted she lied about the cop because she, quote, has a problem with black people. At her sentencing, she got 9 days of community service. Just 9 days for accusing a cop of being a rapist.
Fortunately, he had a squad video. Otherwise, it would have been his word against hers.
And we should point out 9 days community service is not unusual for that charge. The guy who was driving after revocation, he only got 13 days community service. No jail time in either case. So far this year, there have been about 80 internal affairs investigations. That's just a bit higher than average. And about 30 lawsuits filed against Minneapolis police. That is a bit lower than average. In the last 7 years, the department has paid out nearly $7 million in lawsuits. Jeff, Heidi?
And the cameras are only going to be there more and more. Thanks, Tom.